ATC connected.
Check, check. What is going on, everybody? Welcome back to the channel. Long time no see. It's been another week since our last live stream. It's been another week in the grind. Real world, doing some V1 cuts and engine failures and just getting all that training done in the real 737. Now it is time to take some of what I've learned and see just how much the PMDG can handle as we gonna load it up here today on two quick flights. We're doing San Diego to Phoenix, and then Phoenix to Albuquerque, but that's where we're going to have some problems. So we're going to do one short flight, kind of normal. I wanted to take off, see the city update here. I did reach out to I&I for a quick preview copy of DFW. I don't think I gave them enough time, though. I'd never heard anything back. So we were going to do Albuquerque-Dallas turn, but we'll scratch that for now. Am super excited about DFW finally getting some love, though, because it has been sorely just kind of neglected forever. You know, it's really never been done by anybody. I think we had one at X-Plane 10, but nevertheless, anyway, we're back and ready to rock and roll. So who's ready to light some engines on fire? Sandman in the house. Good to see you. Jim Hart, what's up? Good to see you. Do I miss the ECAM yet? Yeah, I do. I've missed the ECAM since day one. I have my own thoughts on that, but I mean, people have been flying the 737 for a very long time, and I guess what the method that they use is the method that they use, and it seems to work. Scott, good to see you, man. Av, Apollo's in the house. AJ Funari, what's up, man? Good to see you. The Tide Pod, indeed. Sun Country Tide Pod. Ready to rock and roll. Bill's Maffia's in the house. How's it going, man? Welcome back, Captain. Rafa, how is the 7.3 going? 7.3 Sim is going good, man. 7.3 Sim is going good. I'm having a lot of fun. Trading has been great. Really enjoyed everybody that I've been interacting with at the schoolhouse. So it's been pretty good, man. And I got to tell you, the 737 is a hell of a lot more fun than I thought I'd have. It's a lot of fun. AJ Funari dropping 50 gifted subs out of the gate. My goodness, AJ must have got your tax returns early, man. Thank you so much for a massive 50 gifted sub bomb. Maybe Sun Country is AJ's favorite livery. I think this is the hometown airline of Mr. Funari. So appreciate you, AJ. Very, very kind, my man. Thank you for the support. A massive 50 sub bomb here on the channel. Getting Team Green filling the chat. Very, very kind of you, man. Appreciate the support, AJ. Hope you guys aren't frozen up there in the great white north up there at MSP. I know I'm frozen down here in Texas. We've had, I don't know, we call it 3 inches, 4 inches of snow, but it is essentially ice. I mean, the roads are compacted ice rinks, and people want to try to drive when they really shouldn't try to drive. I mean, they think four-wheel drive is four-wheel stop, and it's not. I mean, that's why we're late today. It took me 50 minutes to get from my house to the HQ. I can normally do it in 15 minutes. So there's a stretch of road that is not treated, not prepped at all. My truck is slightly lifted, and I was still bottoming out on the ruts, and it's just compacted ice. So not good. You know, it's not like just driving on normal snow. It's literally an ice rink. I think I only spun out twice on the way over here. But yeah, four-wheel drive turns into four-wheel slide. It sure does, man. So I almost, I thought it would be better. I think it's going to be better by the time I drive home, because it is going to get up to, I think, 40-something degrees today. So it is melting rapidly, but it's just compacted. I mean, we had 2 inches of sleet and freezing rain first, and then we had a little bit of snow, and then we had some more sleet and freezing rain on top of that. So, and it's just compacted. They don't treat the roads here. They treat the major highways down in Dallas, but we also had that rain, so it washed a lot of the treatment away. I don't know. It is what it is. What's up, V1? How you doing, man? Gray Austin, I'm doing good, man. How are you? GMC, what's up? 24 months of support. Thank you so much, man. I appreciate you. That's a funny looking Allegiant livery. I know, Captain. You know, I was thinking of getting an Allegiant livery, but then I just ran out of time. But I got to the HQ. I was scrambling, man. I was scrambling to get everything ready to rock and roll here. Thrustset, what's up? Good to see you, man. AJ for the $3 super chat. Appreciate you. Says people in Texas think wipers have yellow blades. AJ, I thought it was a fancy wiper. You know, I would have. It would be a good idea, AJ, if you save those yellow covers and use those to scrape the ice off. I mean, that's going to be my next technique next time we get an ice storm. Luckily, I was able to have my truck. I was in training. I drove down early to training when we first got hit, and I was able to park my truck under the garage. And it was protected. But yeah, I mean, if you put the yellow covers back on your wipers, they're essentially ice scrapers. So I appreciate you, AJ. Thanks for the support and the massive 50 sub bomb. I really do appreciate you. All right, let's go ahead and fire this bird up. We are on Beyond ATC today because I don't want to be dealing with any network stuff if we're going to be shutting down engines or things of that nature. So a little bit better to do it this way. So yeah, tear the blade off the frame. Great idea. Well, I mean, it may work. I don't know. We may actually hit freezing in South Florida this weekend. It's going to be raining lizards. I know the lizards are falling out of the sky in Florida, man. They got down to 9 degrees. I don't care who you are. 9 degrees Fahrenheit is pretty dang cold, especially for us Southerners down here in the great state of Texas. So let's fire up this airplane. I do have something cool that I'm going to show y'all. If I go to my WinWing programming cam, I am using a Mobi flight with my 747 WinWing, because this is the same FMC layout that I have in the real NG now and the Max. You know, we'll get rid of climb, cruise, descent page. So I can see the buttons, and I have it bound to do what I want it to do. So it's actually pretty cool. So we're using Mobi flight for all of the stuff today, but you'll see I do not have my 737 FMC here. We're going to see how this goes, because this is the 7.3 FMC, but it's a much older model with different buttons and stuff. So this is much more current. I think the only difference is NavRad or something. I think, yeah, NavRad I think is the N1 limit page in the NG. So we should it should be fun. It should be fun. Mic volume is a bit low. Turn up your sounds, man. Should be good to go. Haven't changed anything. It might just be because I was looking away from the monitor. All right. Let's go ahead and get this airplane fired up, shall we? Let's connect. I don't have anything connected. Normally, I like to do this here and get it all connected. We're going to request data from SimBrief. That's going to populate. Let's get the ground ops connected. We're going to use the jetway today. Let's go ahead and request that. Let's request external pit power. Let's request that. Let's get this thing fired up. All right. Now, I should, man, one thing I do like, I flew one of our oldest sims that we had 2 days ago, old Block 1 sim, old panel, just absolutely beat up glare shield. It looks a lot like the, the cockpit wear mod or whatever that they have in Flight MTO. Very good representation of what some of the older cockpits look like. All right, here we go. Let's get the battery switch on. That's closed. That's closed. Coming up top on the overhead, everything looks good. 3 green lights get the external power connected. We are using Boris audio sounds today, so it's going to be, it's always a treat with Boris audio. We'll come down here, make sure everything is stowed. All right, let's go ahead and begin sweeping the overhead. We'll get you into line nav, a line nav. That's off, dome light, oxygen check. Beautiful, oxygen checked. We got, that's closed up top. Let's get our airspeed. Noise. HUD. Oh, I did HUD work 2 days ago too, which was pretty cool. Surprised they didn't swipe all the sim instructors to work the line this week. Man, Turks, it was wild, dude. I had guys that were, got canceled. My sim instructor, he had a hotel, so he was staying down there. But yeah, there was a lot of guys that got screwed up, and schedules are all jacked up. And they're removing. I didn't want to get screwed up because they were removing guys' days off and just keeping them there straight through, which I'm like, that kind of sucks. 15 days in a row. So it worked out for me, but man, it was dangerous. It was shuttles were shut down. It was just an ice rink, man. Absolutely a wild situation. But all right, coming across the panel here, we're waiting for our screens to come on. Let's go ahead and get our FMC up. We can do a pause and knit. We are in KSAN. We'll be doing an NADP1 today, which will be pretty cool. We'll just do that, SAN, and then we'll do a flight plan request. That's San Diego Phoenix. We'll get that cooking down there. All right, our screens are back on. Let's go ahead and check our hydraulic quantities. We got 18, that looks good. And no RF flags, that looks good there. We'll set that for engine start. Coming down the overhead, yaw damp can come on. Everything looks good on this side. We have center tank fuel, we do not. Let's go ahead and get the left forward tank pump on. APU is off bus, put that at 12 o'clock because I'm OCD. Everything else looks good here. Emergency exit lights are armed. Get the window heaters on. Took a long time. 1, 2, 3, 4. That looks good. Cockpit voice recorder test. Coming up here, trim air recircs are on. That's all fine. All right, landing altitude. We're going to set that and our cruise altitude here. We'll bring this down. Take a look at our flight plan. Nope, where are we at? That's what I want. All right, now there should be Phoenix elevation. I bet you guys didn't know the elevation was right there. Pretty cool. 1135. 1150, 1135. That looks good. We'll set the elevation there. What is our cruise altitude? Before we get too carried away, we'll finish our flow. We're cruising over to Sky Harbor at 350. Really? Seems aggressive. All right, 350 was set. Coming across here. Logo lights coming on. Let's do a captain's leg today. Position is on. Everything looks good here. Coming across, nose wheel steering is closed. We're going to throw on the terrain mode, flight director, auto throttle. The only thing with MobiFlight is your auto throttle magnetic switch doesn't work, which is super sad. Let's get that set up. Coming across, that all looks good. Let's do lights tests, tapes and eights tests. Beautiful. We're going to go reset and back to rates. We're going to throw you into RTO. Coming across, lower panel, everything else looks good. I'll throw you on the FMC page. Park brake is set. Fire test. Cancel it with the bell. May actually need that today, chat. May actually need that today. There's got 2 overheat D-Tex bottles. Left. Right. More noise. That checks. All right, radios are set. Everything looks good on this side. Primary, captain, you got your HUD set up? Yeah, hopefully he's got his HUD set up. Squawk 1, 2, 3, 4 is fine. Stab trim. We are 0 and 0. And you know what's cool? So we already knew what this was, right? We talked about it when we were in our systems phase about the stab trim override. Just for the heck of it, I wanted to try it in the sim. Sure enough, works exactly like we had thought, and the PMDG has it modeled 100% correctly, which is pretty cool. About push against your trim, it won't let you do it. PMDG's got it nailed, so pretty cool. All right, route uplink is ready. Let's go ahead and start plugging away at this. Let's get an ATIS. I think we got Jeff Faviano
27 period.
Still here. Ooh, that's
Advise
loud.
on initial contact. You have information, Victor.
Victor.
San Diego Airport information Victor. 1819 or Zulu. Wind 340 at 3. Visibility 10. Few clouds at 25,000. Temperature 18. Dew point 08. Altimeter 3021. Landing and departing runway 27 period. Advise on initial contact. You have information Victor.
Alright, information Victor. Let's see if Jeff get a clearance for us here.
Sun Country 357, on our way to Phoenix Sky Harbor Airport.
Sun Country 357, Lindbergh clearance, cleared to Phoenix Sky Harbor. Zoo 4 departure with the Hogs transition, then as filed. Climb via SID, except maintain 6,000, departure frequency 119.6, squawk 3356.
Cleared to Phoenix Sky Harbor. Zoo 4 departure with the Hogs transition, then as filed. Climb via SID, except maintain 6,000. Departure frequency 119.6, squawk 3356. Sun Country 357.
Sun Country 357, read that correct. Contact ground 123.9er when ready for pushback or engine start.
Ground 123.9er when ready. Sun Country 357.
Alright, so we've got that from Faviana. Let's go ahead and get our zero fuel we brought in here. Reserve. Let's go back up to the top of our flight plan here. We're going to get everything loaded up and then we can relax. We got 2,400 and 26, 27, 450. Let's call it 5.3. Cost index 23,350. We'll do all our briefings today as well. We'll execute that. And the one limit page. So we will do a proper, let's do proper thrust for today's takeoff. I don't know if they give, do they give a thrust setting for us here on this sim brief flight plan? Let's see. Captain Meow dropping 5 gifted subs. My man, I appreciate you. Thank you for the 5 gifted subs, Captain Meow. Very generous of you. If you get a membership, Captain Meow, shout him out, say thank you. Very kind, man. Very, very, very kind. Appreciate you. Jeez, where is the takeoff data? Here we go. Derated, DTO. Alright, so let's do, well, we're doing an NADP1. So actually, we're going to use QRH V-speeds. I'm going to walk you guys through the QRH V-speed procedure. So we're going to do 26K. We're not going to, we are going to derate. Do we have a derate for 27? An assumed temperature. Is that what MT is, 57? This is a different, tell you what, we're going to do our own. So we're going to do an assumed temperature of 44. Alright, then we're going to go take off, and we're going to be flaps 15, CG 3.74, but we got to set our proper slope and everything here because we're going to do a proper, what's it called? NADP1. So we're going to be on a dry runway slope. It would be off 27. We would have the data on our plan. I don't see it here. Those are tailwind, headwinds. I think it's 0. I don't see anything for slope on this. So let's just call it a 0 slope. And what were the winds? And Clarence, what are the winds at San Diego? Well, I get a... I already switched over to ground. Let's tune over to ATIS real quick. Oh, here it is. 340 at 3. Alright, 340 at 3 knots. Now you do this first because if you don't, it'll wipe out all your data. So now we're going to use QRH V-speeds. 35, 35, 42, flaps 15. We'll set 142. And that looks good. So, we are almost ready. Oh, I got to bring you back over here. I need to see the 27 course line is going to be 275. Set that up here on our courses and our headings. 275, 6,000, LNAV, VNAV, and we'll set the FO side as well. I thought you had the ATIS layer. I know, I lied to him. All right, 275, that's all set up. We're going to fire up the APU, and I'm going to show you our absolutely insane briefings that we're going to do. Let me catch up. JT, what's up, man? Thanks for the 5 months of support. Finally got a job interview. Wish me luck. My man, JT, that is very awesome, dude. Congratulations. I'm sure you're going to absolutely crush the job interview, man. Thank you for the support 5 months, and let us know how it goes. All right. What else we missing here? What's up, Captain Meow? FDS and V173 shared cockpit. When? Soon, my man. TM. Been trying to do a shared cockpit for the last 24 years with Flightbox the Sim. We can't arm VNAV on the ground at Sunny. Uh-oh, my bad. The not-so-brief briefings. I know, Classic Jet Sim Pilot. It's absolutely insanity. You set TARA to the gate? We do, after we receive our clearance. That is correct. We are live weather. I wound the time back 6 hours, so it's 6:40 a.m. local time. Viewing, is it correct in the U.S. the FO always does a walk around? No. It's generally yes, but there are some operators, Marty, where they will alternate. I will tell you, the majority of everybody that I know, it's always the FO doing a walk around, especially if it's not 75 and sunny out. Now, there was a short period of time where they changed our procedures at my last operator to follow the European method of PM goes outside, PF sets up the box. That lasted about 3 weeks, and then they changed it back because everyone was throwing a fit. So, all right, we're on buses. Now, you guys are in for a treat. Get ready for this. This is going to be so ridiculous. All right, are you guys ready for a route review? We are. We're going to be San Diego, Phoenix. We're Sun Country 357. We're on the Zoo 4 Hogs. Hogs, we're picking up from Hogs. We're actually picking up the Hydra 1 arrival to Jamel, the ILS runway 8. We won't brief that. For the legs, you ready for a leg review? We're going to be runway heading. Let's go map mode, or excuse me, plan mode. Scroll that in. We're going to step through this. We got Jetty, Zoo, 230 knots, 6,000 feet. Arnhem, George at or above 11,000 feet. Grider, Gus, Blues, Imperial, BZA, Hogs, Judith at 250 or above 280 knots. We're on the arrival now. From the arrival, we're Rockdam at or below 220. Hydra, 15 and 19. Gila, 11 and 17. 250 knots. Punts at 230 knots, 10,000 and 12,000. Tyke, 8 and 9,000. 7,000 at Tesley. Falgo, Kagor above 5. Jamel above 4. Waza at 3,000 feet, and that's on the ILS into runway 8. I have a total route distance of 294 miles. Do you have 294 miles or abouts on your flight plan? Yes, I do. Cool. Excellent. I call that within limits. We're going to do a route copy. All right, route legs review is complete. Begin the performance review. Zero fuel weight is 132.4. We're grossing out at 144.7. Reserves are 5.3. Cost index of 23. Cruising over there, flight level 350. Transition altitude is 18,000 feet. Outside air temperature is 9 degrees. We're assuming it's 44. We're doing an NADP1, a 26K takeoff. That's going to be flaps 15 with a trim of 23.7, 3.74 units, which I actually need to set, 3.74. I'm at the limit, aren't I? I'm actually at the limit. Okay, that's close enough. 3.74. I got speeds of 135, 135, 142. Again, that's flaps 15. We got a acceleration altitude of thousands, 800. Actually, it should be 1,000 on this one. 1,000 thousands. All right, that checks. Let's go ahead and do the verification. So verification. Winds are 340 at 3 knots. It's going to be a little bit of a crosswind. We're still going to be flaps 15. Our thrust is 93.4. That matches within 0.5 from our TPS. That checks 93.4. Now we're actually going to be bleeds off, so it's going to be more than that. I'm curious. Oh, this is with... look at that, 92.6. See, it's actually modeling what the bleeds do. All right, 92.6. That's actually what we're looking for. It's going to be closer to that. 93.4 bleeds off. No, 93.4 bleeds off. 92.6. It goes down when you turn the bleeds on. But we're going to be a bleeds off takeoff on that. We got a lot to do. That's within 0.5 of the TPS. So that checks out. We're going full length off runway 27. It is dry. That's all I got. Any questions? No questions. There's your brief. Absolutely ridiculous. And we're still not done. All right, Magic Bear Ref 3015 is set. Let's go ahead and get ready to get out of here. So we're disconnected from ground power. Let's do a before start checklist to the line, please. Can you repeat everything after hogs? Oh, my word. All right, let's go. Parking brake is set. Oxygen check. Navigation transfer and display switches normal and auto. Window heats on. Pressurization auto and set. Terrain display selected. MCP. LNAV VNAV set. Displays checked. Auto brake. RTO. Fuel quantity and distribution 12.2. Onboard and checked. CDU is checked. Engine start levers cut off. Transponder TARA. Aileron rudder trim 00. Departure brief complete. Fasten belts on. APU on buses. Fuel panels set. Flight forms and AML. Onboard accepted aircraft 5 Sierra Yankee. PEDs are off. All right, let's go ahead and get this thing fired up. Going to disconnect all of our ground operations. We're going to release ground power. We'll release you. We'll release the chocks. Cockpit to ground. How y'all doing down there? We're doing fine. How are you? Lights out. Anti-collision lights coming on. Let's check the system page. That's set. That's set. And it's been 3 minutes. Let's get some air going to the cabin right now. Get everybody warmed up. Oh, we're all set up here, ready to go. You all ready? All right, let's go below the line, please. Probe heat's on. Hydraulic panel set. Doors, windows closed and locked. Anti-collision light is on. Before start checklist is complete. Call for push, Jeff.
Sun Country 357 at gate 16. Request pushback and engine start.
What's up, wrong side?
Sun Country 357, Lindbergh ground, pushback and engine start approved, face north.
Pushback approved. Face north, Sun Country 357.
All right, let's go here. This cam ready to rock and roll. Alt P is set. Cockpit to ground, brakes release. Cleared push. Yeah, manual trim wheel. Yeah, I wasn't. Can I actually? I don't think I can pop it out. I could do it this way. There you go. Just another PMDG ism that is 100% true to the real aircraft. Below 4 units, you actually have to use the manual trim wheel, and that is 100% simulated here as well. So again, minor details simulated correctly from PMDG. I mean, that's not bad. We got off the gate, what, 27 minutes? We still have to do we have to configure for bleeds off, takeoff. Let me get that procedure out. Engine bleed off, takeoff. Alright. Cockpit to ground, you're ready to start. You're clear to start. Copy, clear to start. Alright, we all know what to look for. Let's take a listen. Oh, jeez. Abort the start. Just failed with check ride. Clear to start. It looks different from the left seat. Packs are off. Grounding 2. Here we go. Push complete, set brakes. Brakes are set. Terrible push. I see you arm auto fell out the gate. Would it not get a little interesting if you accidentally hit Toga? It sure would, Romulus. That's why you don't hit Toga accidentally. But yeah, at 100%.
Spirit Wings 429, gate 14 taxi via Bravo 5 Bravo. Gate 14 via Bravo 5 Bravo, Spirit Wings 429.
I guess I had the sounds too loud, but... Oh, you know what, Rusty? That's not a bad idea. Have my overhead view like this. That would drive people nuts, though. Alright, we got a good start on the 2. We're going to isolate, ventilate, grounding 1. This is Boris Audio. Ooh, look at the spiritual wangs. Turks, I know, man, right? And that was an abbreviated Turks. You should see, we'll do a runway change. I'll do a manual runway change on the next leg, if I remember. Basically, everything we just did, we have to do, plus a, no kidding, a 4-page procedure for an unplanned tailwind, runway change with unplanned tailwind. It includes math. Now again, that's if ACAR's data is unavailable or undesired, but still. All right, we're gonna go back to auto. APU's coming offline. That's going to auto. We're gonna go generator 1, generator 2. And we're gonna configure for a bleeds off takeoff once we get towards the once we get a little bit further. We'll stop on the taxiway. But let's go ahead and set flaps 15. Flight controls. Runway change. Isn't there an 8-hour YouTube stream limit? Yeah, dude, it's ridiculous. I feel like I'm getting the space shuttle ready for flight sometimes. We'll have to verify that I did set flaps 15. It's kind of hard to do it from the cockpit view there. Yep, flaps 15 is set. Flight controls are checked. Trim is set. We'll blank that. Make it proper. There we go. After start checklist. Anti-ice is off. Generators on. Air conditioning and bleeds. They're set for now. We're going to leave the APU running. Flaps, flight controls, recall. I have 6. Let's go. Call for taxi, please.
Sun Country 357, request taxi.
Sun Country 357, runway 27 taxi via Bravo, Bravo 1.
Runway 27 taxi via Bravo, Bravo 1, Sun Country 357.
No single engine taxi, not a company man, I see. Not today, my man, not today. Look at that, Spirit and Southwest right next to each other. Merger confirmed. Merger confirmed. All right, we're going to 27. Oh. No takeoff config switch is in here. It's just wild. I bet you guys didn't know takeoff config switch exists on the 737. I won $100 from my buddy Full Flap Sim. He still hasn't paid up yet. Zippy, what's up, man? Was the Sun Country and Allegiant? Yeah, they actually just announced the merger. Sun Country and Allegiant announced a merger, which is pretty interesting. We'll see how it goes. I mean, it kind of makes sense. They're both kind of do the same thing, right? Oh, cockpit door there, Chief. All right, we're going to taxi on down here to the end, and then we'll configure for a bleeds off takeoff. We'll review the NADP1, and we actually have to change. We did it wrong. We actually have to change our box down here. I'm going to do it while we're taxiing. We're going to be acceleration is, hold on. I got to set this up. Going to be 3,000. $1,000 reduction. So I believe 3,000. Hold on. It'd be great if they just told us, like they do the bus pilots, what the perf page is supposed to look like. Reduction is, yeah, 1,000. Excel is 3,000. Engine out from TPS, which I'm not going to look up. We'll just call it 1,000 there. So 3,000 acceleration, reduction 1,000. We're doing 26K dry. Beautiful. Absolutely beautiful. All right, while we're taxiing, let's go ahead and configure. I have the procedure for bleeds off right now. So, all right, not supposed to do it from memory. Before takeoff, configure air conditioning and bleed. So, right pack switch is in auto. Left, isolation valve is closed. Left pack switch is in auto. Engine 1 bleed air switch off. APU bleed air switch on. Engine 2 bleed air switch off. Trim air switch is on. Wing anti-ice switch is off. Will remain off. It's not necessary, not needed. Alright, for high altitude takeoffs that does not apply. Basically at Excel height prior to 10,000 we're going to start with number 2 on and APU off. Is there a good Salt Lake Tudco? I don't think there's been a good Salt Lake for a while. There is one out there that I don't have, but from the pictures I didn't think it was that great, but I think it's decent. Somebody in chat might know. PackSim, that's the one. I don't know how good it actually is though. I don't think I own PackSim Salt Lake. Milan NN, is this real life? It is real life, my man. It is indeed. It's a long taxi down here. Taxiing depart Salt Lake to LA, see what the city update is. I know, man, we got the city update installed right now. It actually looks pretty decent. I mean, I can't really see anything, but I'm sure it looks decent. Need to fly the Huey or something. Is the new Terminal 1 installed? Ooh, that's a good question. I don't know. Are you talking about here? This is a default. This is not a default scenery, so it wouldn't be here. Just in time for the spicy takeoff, indeed, Dale. Why am I only going 7 knots? I don't know. I don't know why I'm only going 7 knots. All right, let's go back to this camera here. We're ready to go now. I don't know, it just doesn't seem to roll. I'm so used to the bus where it just rolls. Look, my head has been so far down in checklists, like I don't need to worry about taxi anymore. That's the captain problem. All right, before takeoff, checklist to the line, please. Takeoff data and bugs. Closeout received and check. Look at our N1s, 93.5. Flaps, 15, a green light. Stab trim, 3.74 units. Takeoff brief complete. HUD set. Generators on. Air conditioning and bleeds set. Bleeds off takeoff. It's not auto and set. Below the line, MCP and ND checked. Runway 27 PA complete. Lights are set. For takeoff checklist completed. No phone to do that. Alright. Alright, so we got to do a static on this. We're not going to take it rolling. Thing to note, flaps 15. We're going to go flaps 5. And then 1, and then up. NADP 1 up to 6,000, 6,000 set. Let's go ahead and, oh, we're not all the way down there at Tower. Here
Sun Country 357, contact Lindbergh Tower 118.3. Have a good one.
Contact Tower 118.3, Sun Country 357.
Alright, let's go, Jeff. And Tower Sun Country 357, ready for departure. Mike's not set up. All right, Jeff, let him have
Sun
it.
Country 357, holding short, runway 27.
Sun Country 357, hold short of 27, arriving traffic.
What?
Affirm. confirm. Hold short of 27 for traffic. Sun Country 357.
Driving traffic. Oh yeah, I do see a guy out there. Alright, that's fine. Brakes are set. What do we got? This is Latin VFR, I believe. Latin VFR, dual windsocks, yeah, relics. I haven't used Beyond ATC in a while. Who'd that be? 175, Alaska. Ooh, smashed it. Man, y'all should have felt my flaps 40 and DCA in the sim 2 days ago. Thought I broke the simulator.
Sun Country 357, runway 27, line up and wait.
Runway 27, line up and wait. Sun Country 357.
Skywest 904, exit left at Bravo.
Golly, that sounds so good. All right, here we go.
Exit left at Bravo 5, Skywest 904.
Sun Country 357, Lindbergh Tower, wind calm, runway 27, cleared for takeoff.
Runway 27 cleared for takeoff. Sun Country 357.
All right, are y'all ready? Look at that lineup. Captain me now. Spool them up 40. Yoga's in chat. We're going flying. NADP1. Here we go. Toga. Love it. We don't say anything on the FMA because we're crazy. $80.
V1.
Rotate.
Positive rate.
Here. Oh. Fly with. Oh, that's epic looking.
Country 357, contact SoCal departure.
Contact SoCal departure. Sun Country 357. See you. SoCal departure. Sun Country 357. 1,600.
Sun Country 357, SoCal departure, good morning, radar contact, climb and maintain 17,000.
Climb and maintain 17,000. Sun Country
17,000
357.
set. Wait for 3,000 here. All right, coming up on Excel, altitude 3,000, engine 2 bleed air switch on. APU bleed air switch off. We're gonna wait a little bit. Let's get that nose down. Trim wheel is making weird noises. Flaps 5. Flaps 1. Flaps up. You can lead it by 1. So when you see the 1 bug, you can call for flaps up. As long as you're accelerating. At flaps 5, you can go flaps 1 as long as you're accelerating. Which is kind of counterintuitive, but I didn't design the airplane. Alright, we got that set. So, wet cabin air has stabilized. It has. Bleed air 1 is coming on. We got a bank angle check here to the left. Isolation valve auto and APU. So isolation auto APU's coming off, Chief. Bank angle check to the left. Here we go. Look at that boat down there. Sweet. Beautiful morning out of San Diego. After takeoff checklist. So, gears up and off. RTO is off. Leads and packs. Auto set APU is off. Watch that pitch there. I've got my yoke so heavy, like the real thing. I actually pay attention here. It's weird. My trim, when I use the trim button, so like, I don't know, it makes a weird noise. But when I use the trim wheel, I don't know. Maybe that's something that herein was saying. Maybe I need to check my binding. Golly. I wish our sims had these graphics. You forgot to bring your fish scale to sim training, didn't you? I did, AJ. I'll tell you what, it's very... 90% of simmers' desks would not be able to handle the forces implied on the control column. Because I'm pushing it with mine. On my Bruna right now, if I pull, I can see my whole desk start to move. And I've got a pretty heavy desk here at the office. My home PC, I will not be able to do it. Trimmed out, we're looking good now. 9.3 for 17,000. Look at that. Now what? We're there yet? All right, 10,000 feet. Let's get the retracts on this old girl, and then we'll hit them with the chime out of 10. He's already becoming a true mainline pilot, eyeing boats at 3,000 feet during climb out, thinking about how to buy them. True story, man. I just got mine fixed, though, which is good, right before the snowstorm. The ignition's still on left. Is that on purpose? Yes, we leave it on left. We'll leave it on left or right, whoever's flying. Unless it's first flight of the day and it's cold and they're above 4,000 feet, then we'll do both. Bank angle checking to the left here. One thing I did forget to do is set my engine out altitude in the barrel there when we departed. It's all right. Man, we're gonna need to do a helo tour over Southern California. See the city update. Unable 280 knots at Judith. We'll see about that. But the FCOM says. Alright, we're going to get straightened out here because this is pretty beautiful. Archer, I kind of want to spend more time here on the way. Look at the buildings down there still. It's almost like I can see the buildings a lot further away now. I don't know if that's part of the update or not. We'll get some trim in there, lower the nose. We'll give it an autopilot here. Command A. Have a good morning, brothers. We'll bring this back so we can see the SOP.
Sun Country 357, take care. Los Angeles Center, Sun Country 357 through 1,300 feet.
Turn down the sound.
Direct in or man.
Annerman.
Sun Country 357, Los Angeles Center, climb and maintain flight level 350.
Up we go, 350.
Climb and maintain flight level 350, Sun Country 357.
Tootco, my man. Tootco, thank you for the $5 super chat. It says, adding to your Moza yoke fund, because I know you say it's heavy, but the one profile half of the 7.3 couldn't possibly be that heavy IRL. I'll tell you what, Tootco, if it's that heavy where you have to question using one hand or two hands, it's correct. It is very heavy on the control column. It absolutely is. Now, you're not always moving the control column a lot, right? It's some faster you're going, especially. It's just little inputs. But it does require some manhandling. Absolutely. Dan Dranny, thank you for the 13 months support. Says fire, fire, bandit ship, fire, fire. So what I'm thinking of doing is doing a fire in flight. Hold on. Yeah, I'm thinking about instead of trying to set up a second leg and then having a V1 cut, why don't we do a fire en route? And then we can descend down and secure the engine and land single engine in Sky Harbor. That might be better for timing wise, because my wife was going to get out today, but she can't. She only has 2-wheel drive in her car, and there's no way she'd be able to get out. So if I end the stream sooner, I can go back home and pick them up. Might have to do that. But yeah, well, we could do one thing that is unfortunate. If you look at the FMC, where do I get my menu page? FS actions. No, hold on. PMDG aircraft failures. If I go to engine, oh, it does have V1 cuts. Oh, I thought I couldn't. I thought there was no, because I was engine fail, but I couldn't. There was no like set at speed. Okay, never mind. We'll stick with the same plan. I don't even see fire.
Runway 27, Frontier Flight 1325.
Oh, right here, fire. Engine 1 fire. Ooh. Do we do an engine fire in flight? Set standard set out of 202. I missed this too. Out of 18,000 feet, get the rest of the lights off. Get the wing light off. Get that off. Do we do a fire in flight or a V1 cut? Choices. This is beyond ATC. Got to invest in sled dogs for future ice storms. I know. Well, I've got 2 of them in training, but I don't think they're going to pull much of a sled. Although we did go, we did some redneck Clark Griswold sledding yesterday. We went to this big hill with the kids and got on top of one of those plastic, I don't know, what are they, like those big plastic tubs that you can get at Home Depot, and we were sledding on the lid. It's pretty funny. I'm a little bit sore today, which is embarrassing. Fire and go around? Well, you wouldn't go around with a fire, Bills Mafia. That brings up a great point. If you're on approach, and any phase of the approach, if I get an engine fire, and this is something that we talked about training too, you're not going around. Secure the fire, do your QRC items, and land. You actually got that much snow? We didn't get much. We got ice, dude, so it's worse. It's worse than snow. If it was snow, it's one thing, but it's, I think where we were on the verge of 5 inches of snow, but 5 inches of accumulation, but I'm pretty sure we have about 3 inches of ice below the snow. So it's pretty wild. Tell that to Jeju Air, Juju Air. I know, AJ. That one is, they were on the go, though, AJ. They were on the go. So the way I understand it is they actually executed the go around when they hit burns. I don't think they hit burns and then went around, according to the last thing I watched. But they did shut down the wrong engine. Everything points to them shutting down the wrong engine, which is what we said on day 1 of that. Going over that is terribly sad. But they did shut down the wrong engine. You got 20 inches of snow, Bills Mafia? Oof. Storm was opposite for me. 5 inches of snow covered by 3 inches of ice. Nice. How much of what you learned during ATPL ground school do you use today? Not a lot, to be honest with you, man. At the airline level, you don't use a whole lot of, I mean, I don't know. It just depends. It's been so long ago. I don't even remember what was on the ATP written, to be honest with you. I have no idea. I don't know. Took that test so long ago. I wouldn't even know what's on it. I'm sure we use some of it, but a lot of it is, book study, get the knowledge, check the boxes, right? Cooperate, graduate. All the stuff that you need to learn, you're going to learn in training. Whether it's in your SOPs or your company manuals, you're going to learn that in training. I'm really hoping this coastal storm doesn't mess with my flight. MROC bound Saturday. Ooh, Tom. Costa Rica. No, Tudeco, I don't use what I learned in grade school, either math or reading. So let me show you. I saw the numbers on here. I talked about if you have an unplanned tailwind. Look at this. So actually, so here. You know what? A go around to a fire would be a good idea. Let's go around in Phoenix, and then we're going to get an engine fire, and then we're going to land. That's a great one. That's actually going to be highly stressful. Thanks, Turks. So, whoa, sorry. So let's say we're going through and we get an unplanned tailwind, right? And we have to calculate a tailwind. So we do everything we initially set up for. We do all the briefing and everything. We have to select the new runway, all that good stuff. But then what we have to do is we come in here, and I saw it. This format's a little different than what we use, so you have to forgive me for a second while I find the information right here. You have to come over here and find the actual dry or factored dry tailwind component of 88. So let's say you have a 5-wind tailwind. You take 88 times 5, and then you're going to subtract that from the limiting takeoff weight of the runway, which I don't know where it is on this format. Right here, I'm guessing. So let's say we took off 27. You would then take 88 times 5, subtract it from this, and then compare it to your knit weights and make sure you're not below that. So once you do all that, then you have to configure the takeoff page like we did. Page 2, put the slope in, put the winds in, put dry, put wet, skid resistant, etc. And then you have to go back and brief all the items again, all the perf items again. So the worst possible thing you could get is a runway change with no ACARs and an unplanned tailwind. It's literally 10 minutes of heads down work by the FO. So you see here how it says these are your limits. What is this? Field length or factored landing? I'm not sure what these are referring to. We have different codes. So we have like a landing limitation, we have a runway limitation, or a performance limitation. We have different symbology for. I'm not sure what these are. AFM, FLD. This is probably some, EASA ATPL theory abbreviations, which I don't have enough brain power to put any more useless acronyms in my brain. So, but it's the same thing. It essentially means the same thing. No calculators in the cockpit, no. Because remember, the checklist, PED's off. So you have to turn your phones off, so you can't use your calculator. Time to math it out. Now, simple pilot math, if it's 88, what I'm going to do is I'm just going to make that 100. I'm going to times it by 3, or whatever the headwind is. So 500, if it's 5 knot tailwind. I'm not going to do 88 times 5. I'm going to do 100 times 5. And only then, if it becomes a problem, like let's say, okay, well, we're actually getting close to our limit weight, then I might go back and do the actual math. Add TI-34 to checklist. What if you get an engine fire while briefing a runway change? Handle the fire. So an engine fire is not a memory item. Engine fire, engine failure are not memory items. The only thing that's a memory item is actually an APU fire. Question, emergency procedures, are they in the EFB checklist or where do you find them? So it's going to depend on your operator. My previous operator, we had no paper in the cockpit at all. It was all done via your EFB, which I liked, but I also saw the downside to that as well. Some operators will have a QRC, which is a quick reference card, which is on the dash, and you will comply with the QRC, and then it will send you to the QRH, which is then inside your EFB, which is going to have a lot longer procedure, which you're going to see today. So I like Turk's idea. What we're going to do is we're going to fly the approach into Phoenix like normal. We're going to go around for, say, unstable, and then we're going to give ourselves an engine fire on the go-around, which is going to be spicy. And I'll be honest with you, with all the failures that we do in the sim, And I don't care if you're flying an Airbus or a 737. For me, the more challenging engine failure is in a second segment climb out, when you lose an engine in second segment climb after rotation. Because first off, you know, we train the V1 cut so much, it's almost like, you know, boom, boom, boom. All right, engine V1, engine failures, boom. Stay on the runway, maintain center line, rotate 400 feet, 1,000 feet, do your things, whatever. But when you're climbing out, you don't know, like, what if it's at 700 feet? What if it's at 800 feet? What if it's at 350 feet? But then you blast through 400 feet. So it's like there's the startle factor, and then the thought process. Okay, well, where am I? I just lost my engine. What altitude am I at? So you have that going against you. And then depending on which departure you're on, is that for us? Oh no, that's Frontier. Depending on which engine out you're on, you may have a specific engine out procedure depending on which altitude you're at right there, and it may change. Vegas is one of those. So it's those second segment engine failures are always spicy. So I'm a little upset at Turks who suggested this. Let me see here. Engine failure missed approach for Airbuses. I'm trying to see if we have engine missed approach. There we go. Missed approach for 737.
Los Angeles Center, SkyWest 6292, flight level 270.
Now, I don't think I'm going to have these fixes in here, am I?
SkyWest 6292, Los Angeles Center.
Let me just see real quick if I have this fix in here. Not in. We back? So, good news and bad news. I guess we're back. Bad news is I Alt F4'd the waiting screen, because you know how Microsoft throws you in that waiting, do you need to reconnect to continue your flight? Nonsense. So I'm rebooting that right now, but I think we'll be fine. We can load up in flight. We'll load up in flight, which is fine. We're pretty much at top of climb right between both of the both airports. I'm just going to go single stream, no vertical stream. I mean, honestly, it doesn't surprise me that I've had some issues, because with all the ice out there and all the stuff that's going on, I was actually kind of surprised that I had internet when I got here, so that's all right. We'll boot it back up in cruise, and then we'll do our fire, engine fire on a go-round, which I still think would be fun. Must have been a dream. Yeah, we're going to do the go-around fire. I've never done a go-around to a fire before, so I'm actually kind of excited to try it in the sim and rattle my own brain. So we're booting up right now. I've got it. I'm loading. Just can't see it. But man, gosh, that's the worst part about Microsoft, is when it boots you out of your own flight saying you need internet to continue. No, I don't. Like, just let me fly without anything, and then, oh well, we'll be fine. We'll be fine. We'll be fine. Tether your phone when your internet goes out. I'm in such a thick office building that my phone doesn't have any service. Barely. I get 1 bar. Like when I message the chat, sometimes I can connect to the chat, sometimes I can't with my phone. So I have to hack the Wi-Fi from the bar down the next bar across the or next building over. Oklahoma City has stellar internet. Yeah, you know what, man? This internet out here in this HQ has not been the best. I mean, the speeds are fine, but it's like I've had more interruptions here than anywhere else. No, we didn't die, man. Internet went out, and then Microsoft boots you to the connect to internet screen, and I Alt F4'd because I'm like, well, this is going to take all day. I'm loading back up. All right. Let's see. We were right about here. We're going from there to Phoenix. We actually just flew over the Salton Sea. So I tell you what, let's throw us right over. Blythe is the arrival. let's throw us right about here. Airborne 31,000 feet. Now this might get a little spicy. Let's see what happens. Whoa. Let's see what happens. Hold on to your butts. That's why 2020 is Goat Sim? Definitely not. I mean, that is one super annoying part, though. I will be honest with you. It is super annoying that... now, this is going to be interesting. We have to... we're going to have to load in flight. Hold on, let's active pause it. Let's active pause it so we can connect. Alright, PMDG, a load panel, cruise, execute. Wonderful, wonderful, wonderful. Launch that, so that's going to connect. Wonderful, wonderful. Alright, things are looking up, chat. Things are looking up. Let's go ahead and get this. Let's go ahead and get our ground, or not ground ops. Let's get weight and balance. Load. Just waiting for our screens to come on. Why are engines off? Let's give it a second. Those screens come back. Pitch for green dot. Hey, look at that. We're getting there. I don't have any generator power though. There we go. Let's get everything back on. Look at that.
Positive re.
Gear up. Alright, that's coming on. Auto throttle's coming on. Let's go heading 270. Oh, CWS, that's fine. Give me heading select, level change. All right, we're cooking. We're back. We back. All right. Dual FMC. All right, cool. Route. Hold on. Let's go. PMDG autosave when? I mean, that would be good. Ratman on diabetic lad. There is no rat on the 737. Believe that? No rat on the 737. All right, we're back. But I did. My time is a little messed up. Let's wind the time back a hair. So we took off in the beautiful sunrise. Right about yonder. What do we got? Route uplink ready. Cool. We're loading that. Oh man, it's like nothing went wrong here. Landing altitude's going to be 1130. 1150. Look at that. Improvise, adapt, overcome. Seatbelt signs off. We'll get fuel tank pumps off here. Yes, yes. Yaw damn will come on. Activate, execute, legs. Let's go. Departure, arrival. Phoenix, ILS 8. Coming down the, what were we on? Hydra 1 from Hogs, execute, legs, make it active, execute, LNAV. Yes, yes. gross weight. We need to get our gross weight set up. Index. All right. Perfect. Hell, we can even go into VNAV. Yes, we can. N1 LNAV VNAV speed. Up we go. Aft takeoff checklist complete. Blank U. Hey, just get to have a little extra flying with me today. 7-3 has a rat. It's me. Gotta get out of here, Turk. Good to have you back, Turk Heron. Trying to give us Airbus flashbacks? Yeah, I know, dude. If no rat on the 7-3, what's the alternative in that scenario for when a rat is needed? You land, Captain Simp. I do think it's interesting, but remember, the 7-3, you do not have to have electrical power to fly the airplane. You can fly this airplane with manual control and with electric power not needed. The Airbus, you have to have some form of electrical power. If you have zero electrical power in the Airbus, you're dead stick all the way in. Doesn't matter if you have hydraulics, doesn't matter if you have fuel. If you have zero electrical power, there's nothing you can do to fly that airplane. So for that reason, they have a rat. Now, even some of the other aircraft, like the Boeing aircraft, the 7-8, they have a rat. The 777 has a rat. EEC needs power though, right? No, it doesn't, diabetic red. It'll actually revert into its hard alternate mode and then into a... Actually, no, it doesn't need it. You'll just have regular thrust control. So you have to be careful, but you'll have regular thrust control. And actually, if I gotta check, but I wonder if the EEC, I think the EEC might have just have backup power from the engine. See. But look at that. Crisis averted. 2024 GOAT sim. The 7.5 had a rat? It did? Did it? I don't even remember. Correct, yeah. Looking for a wide body ETOPS operation. I bet the 7.5 had it for that too, right? If you want to go ETOPS, you need to go with a rat on the 7.5. All right, 31 for 35. Back to our regularly scheduled programming. Go around to a engine fire on the mist. I like it. Go around to an engine fire. Just out of a meeting, what I miss? Well, you missed my internet go out, and then they kicked me out of the Fly Now screen, and then I actually think it was going to lock up anyway. Have any of you experienced that where you've lost your internet and then you just left it waiting there, but then your sim locks up anyway? So it locks up in that, connect to internet to continue your flight screen, so you have to Alt F4 anyway? If they would just let you fly, it would solve so many problems. While there's no attitude backup? Nope. Also, you got to remember, there's a ton of different modifications too. So, in light of that Jeju air crash, the CVR was tied to engine 1. So when they shut off the wrong engine, because number 2 had the most damage, I believe engine 1 was damaged as well, but not to the extent that number 2 was. But as soon as they cut off the number 1 engine, that cut off power to the CVR. Now there are modifications to other 737s where you can get power to the CVR, not just from engine 1. But that aircraft did not have that. Super unfortunate too. Alright, we're LNAV, we're VNAVing up to 350. I think everything is set up. Pretty cool that we can have the... I think it's pretty sweet that we can have the new screen with the WinWing and still have MobiFlight. The only thing, can you get MobiFlight to hold the auto throttle mag switch up? I don't know if you can. That's the only thing that I can't get to work with MobiFlight. Is there any software that offers shared cockpit to use PMDG or Phoenix? 2 sausage dogs. I haven't seen anything. I haven't seen anything that's really certified, stable, shared cockpit stuff. If there was, I would probably try it, but shared cockpit has been finicky in the past. It's almost not even worth the time to, you know, set up a stream and do all this stuff, and then, you know, one person clicked this and then this is bugged out, so I don't know. Is there something that powers the gyro, or is going to wind down and put you in a graveyard? Well, it shouldn't put you in a graveyard, but yeah, you will not have gyro either. Talking about the standby gyro or main gyro. Well, this one is electrical too, yeah. I mean, so here's the thing. If you lose all electrical power, you still have your battery. If your battery dies, yeah, then you don't have anything else. But you've got 30 minutes. If you're having that kind of a bad day, hopefully... TO, or top of descent is literally right here. Hopefully, your IMC in 30 minutes. All right, we need to start setting up for our descent now as we reach top of climb. No issues. Why is our APU? Oh, I started the APU. We're going to shut off the APU. APU's going down. All right, ILS to runway 8, 111.75. Yeah, we just flew through our top of climb and top of descent. That's too funny, man. Let's set up the rest of the airplane here before we screw this up. Final approach course 078. Here comes top of descent. This is funny. VNAV out. There goes the descent window. And down we go. I'm going to set 16,000 for right now. VNAV speed. Down we go. Ladies and gentlemen, we're going our initial descent down to Phoenix Sky Harbor. Do apologize for the short cruise flight there. We're going to be on the ground here about 20 minutes. Rather than Phoenix right now, it's nice, more than 75 degrees, calm winds, clear skies. We'll update you. I'll get a little bit closer. Actually, I don't know. I don't know what I'm saying because I'm not a captain anymore. It's a captain problem. All right. Down we go. 350, 111.75. Let's tune you in. $111.75 set both sides. 078, 078. Barrow reference for the ILS to runway 8 is 1368. So that's going to be Barrow and 1368. Oh, I have to click and hold this one because Flight doesn't let me do the accelerated one either. Thanks for flying Sun Country Airlines. Yes, Flight only allows you to... Ooh, we're going through some potential icing conditions. Only lets you set the Barrow in single. Alright. Oh, 1368. Alright, 1368. We'll do this here. Watch this. Bam. Copied it over. He's on 1368 as well. Alright, 1368, 111.75. The star, Hydra 1, bottom altitude is actually 5,000 feet at Kagor. 5,000 feet set. Down we go. Beautiful ortho today, man. Goodness. I use Flight and your stuff is accelerated? What do you mean it's accelerated? So I can only, so the way it works in SimApp Pro and the real Jet2 code is if you move, let me see if I can show you here, this knob just once, like kind of quickly, or there's really, the real airplane has 2 levels of turn. But if you move it quickly, it'll move by 1s. If you move it a little bit further, it'll move by 10s, and then it will accelerate rapidly. I can't get my Flight to accelerate rapidly on the Barrow mins here. Oh yeah, altitude heading speed. Yeah. That all works properly. It actually accelerates better, I think, in Flight than it does in SimApp Pro. But we're already getting a little bit high. We got the anti-ice on, so we need a little bit of speed brake to come down. We're going to do we'll plan on flaps 30. We're going to plan everything normal, then we're going to go around. Let me go to the menu page. PMDG, aircraft failures, fire, programmed, engine 1 fire. Ooh, I like it. All right. Down we go. We're catching it. We're catching the path. Judith out or above 250. Oh yeah, we're only 400 feet high. Golly, I missed the... You guys give me so much grief for flying Phoenix to LA routes in the Phoenix. I've stopped flying over here, but I remember why I always fly over here. The ortho looks amazing, except for that gray shadow line right there. Nah, Flyby Tim. Chase plane's dead to me, man. No need for chase planes. Although I do not like dragging through the camera, through the cabin. I may be a bit dense, but what are y'all needing MobiFlight for? So Captain Overspeed, I am using MobiFlight because I'm using a completely different FMC. I'm using the 747 FMC in the NG because this is actually the proper keypad layout for the NG FMC that I use. So it just, you know, since I'm in training, it kind of helps the brain. I've got, it looks the same, right? Departure, arrival, ATC, VNAV page as opposed to climb, descent, or climb, cruise, descent pages. So this is exactly minus this. I believe this is over here, and this says N1 limit. So I'm using a completely different FMC, but it's still programmed to work just like... So if I'm here and I hit VNAV, oh, well, we never hit our... We actually never got to our cruise altitude. That could be a problem. Now I actually need a descent page. But, yes, it helps my brain, helps my small brain. Chase plane's awesome. I'll get on the chase plane game in a couple months. Let me have a couple updates, and then I'll get on the chase plane game. Right now, everything has been so stable, knock on wood, other than the internet. I don't want to, because I don't remember the last time I've had a crash due to the sim or something. It's not really dead to me, Tim. Honestly, I just don't have the time to set it up. I have, 4 to 8 hours off. I'm going to sneak in one stream, and then I go back to training. So once I get a little bit more time off, I'll look into it, perhaps. I do like the G-loaded camera. I think that's pretty cool. I think I actually like that more than the other stuff now, because I know how to do flyby view super easy. I know, Tutko. I talked about it being stable. Let's watch it just CTD. You thought it wasn't going to be worth it, but it so is. Really? Yeah, that's pretty good if you're enjoying it that much. I do think that G-loaded camera is pretty cool. Once I got to experiment with that in X-Plane 12, I'm like, yeah, we need this in Microsoft Flight Sim. Oh my gosh, Tutko, all my USBs just unplugged and replugged in. What happened? Tutko. Did you guys hear that? Literally, my entire USB block just disconnected and reconnected. I hope I have throttles. This stream is cursed. Go check the breakers. That's a good point, actually. All our breakers are in. I'm feeling a little bit nervous though now. We'll put this on, I feel like I'm getting a wicked stutter, which is not good. Aircraft failures. Fire. I'm gonna leave that page up. Alright, we're getting ready to go through transition. 3017 is set. Wing lights, logo lights, seatbelt sign. Fixed lights are coming on. Flight attendants, please prepare for landing. Breakers in PMDG. I know Turkaren is super anti-PMDG. I've been having that problem actually. I was in the TBM 850, my Moza disconnected. I think it's a Windows 11 update issue. It might be Make Oatmeal. I know my Windows is trying to update. I keep posting and pushing it off too. You're the guy that says go home day on a trip. I know. I do. Alright, descent checklist, please. Altimeters. We got 3017 set cross-checked. Approach prep is complete. I should have said we're going to be flaps 30. Oh yeah, all my Moby flight stuff stopped working. Uh-oh. What is happening, guys? I don't have a WASM crash. This isn't the failures I signed up for, is it? I'm restarting it. I swear, I love streaming. I just want to have a simple flight, you know, shut down an engine, have a fire. Okay, we're back in action. My goodness. Approach prep's complete. Pressurization is checked. Terrain display selected. Lights are set. Descent checklist is complete. Right, at a 15.4, descending on the path. We're going to play ATC as real ATC lifetime. We're going to set 280 in the speed window. Because good luck descending via the pre-programmed speeds on the 737. I think it's funny. So the 7.3, when you have the auto flap speed, and it'll start slowing down on itself, and it does a pretty good job actually of slowing down and letting you configure flaps. But good luck doing that in the U.S., man. Like the controllers are not going to allow you to slow to 260 knots just because the airplane feels like it needs to slow down to be stable, or 240 below 10. Like we reprogram that all the time. 250. Tudeco, thanks for the $5 super chat, man. Someone should make a flight simmer parody video where setting up failures for practice is setting up PC failures. That would be a good one, Tudeco, man. That would be pretty funny. Yay. I had to actually pull a circuit breaker yesterday due to pressurization. Really? In what? PMDG or real life? Yeah, get those seatbelts fastened up, Mr. Jesus. It's about to get real. Also, a reminder, if you haven't already, do hit that like button. It'll be the only stream that you guys see me here for another week or so, probably. We still have our engine anti-ice on? We do. Imagine flying a real airliner and hearing a bunch of USB disconnect sounds. Not a good thing, AA Ron. I guess the equivalent would be hearing a bunch of circuit breakers popping. And having been in an Airbus where circuit breakers popped, it is not a good sound. You're off to a meeting, AJ? All right, buddy, take it easy. Thanks for the support, man. Stay warm up there. We have a passenger on the back row called Murphy. Yes, we do. Imagine flying an airliner and a throttle quadrant fails. Ay. Are you looking forward to Anybuild's DFW? I definitely am. NFC or Noof C90? Absolutely, man. DFW has been neglected for many, many years. We had a semi-good DFW in X-Plane 10 and 11. What was it like? It wasn't Imagine Sim. Some X-Plane 10 dev did a DFW, and it was okay, but it was very heavy on performance. But Microsoft 2020 hasn't had it. 2024 has it. The default one, it'll get you by. There's a payware one that, to my understanding, is not very good. But now any builds, yeah, very much looking forward to that. All I want for Christmas is L1011 bare metal American Ops at a DFW. Did American have L1011s? I actually don't think they did. Alright. Delta L1011 Ops at a DFW, because the L1011 on Delta looks really good. And Delta actually used to have a DFW base. I don't know if they had L1011 base there, but... What do you think of the long taxis after landing on DFW? Just part of it, man. Just part of DFW. You land in, you know, you land 2 counties over, and the zip code's going to change 4 or 5 times before you get to the gate. That's just how big, that's just Texas, man. All right, take it easy, Anatico. We'll see you, buddy. Oh, the FS Labs. Nice. Yeah, Delta 191 was an L1011. Did you know that you can still see the dent in the water tanks or fuel tanks there? If you're flying, if you land on 17 center, which at the time of the accident was 18 left or 17 left. If you look in the top of those water tanks, you'll see a strip where they repainted it, but that's the dent of where the L1011 hit those tanks. Yeah, Delta 191, man, that was sad. Eastern, it's not out yet. I don't know what the release date is, but it should be soon. Flight Sim guy, because Atlanta's super mid, man. No one wants to go there. Don't we have... I thought we had a payware Atlanta Flight Sim guy. Is it not very good? Yeah, that's the microburst one. That is the microburst one. I hate when you land DFW and see 12 other Americans in the penalty box. Yeah, 12, you're being generous. Alright, we're doing 280 below 10,000 feet. That's on me. Wasn't paying attention. This will be good. This will set us up for being high on path and then having to go around. Orbix is doing Atlanta. That's pretty spicy. Alright, back on the path. We'll let the airplane start trying to slow down here. Ah, screw it. 210. I got it. I gotcha. Alright, at 10,000 feet. Mini speed brakes are coming on. Before landing checklist, approach briefing complete. Seatbelts on. PA's complete. Recall. I have 6. Check. Auto brakes. 3. HUD. Set. Radios and displays. ISYQ 078. Set and cross check. To the line. Alright, I'm going to turn the sounds up a little bit. Alright, so the plan... The plan is to go around low level. Let's do a low level go around to an engine fire. It's going to be spicy. I'm a little bit nervous. Yeah, I don't know what unplugged or replugged, but I definitely got some wonky microstutter going on or something now. I've got 62 FPS locked in, so I don't know. Alright, flaps 1. You know what? I should check to make sure my yoke is connected. Yeah, it is. Okay, that would have been a problem. Flaps 5. Yeah, Windows 11, unfortunately, aviation, dude. Sun Country 357. 7 maintain 3000. Maintain 180 knots. Cleared ILS runway 8 approach. Slope, glide slope, cleared approach. Descending 3. Should get the slope and low here soon. Let's go flaps 10. Try to work it in here. Sell you me your 7900 XCX and get me a real man's FT90? Yeah, hey, if I could get an F5090, I would. That was the original plan. That was the original plan. All right, Loke, glide slope. Fun fact, we have single channel and amber removed from all our aircraft, so we don't see that. It's an old Boeingism. All right, Loke and slope. Go around altitude on this is going to be 5,000. So on the missed approach, I'm going to just give ourselves some headings. We'll do an alternate missed approach. Basically, the single engine missed approach would be kind of straight out and a right turn down this valley here. So we'll try to work through it together. Let me get this ready.
2500.
We're going to arm it for 10 seconds. And all we got to do is hit execute. Alright, gear down. Flaps 15. We need 153. Flaps 25. Flaps 30. Speed brake is armed below the line. Speed brake's armed, green light, gear down and green. Flaps 30, green light before landing checks is complete. Missed approach altitude. 5,000 set. Autopilot's coming off. Oh, I wanted to record this. Flight recorder.
$1,000.
Stable. Recording's on. We'll have the whole go around situation. Auto throttles away. Favorite views right here. Hit the like button if you remember that being Bank 1 ballpark. Or Bob. I don't even know what it is now. Should we do a bulk landing to a go around?
Approaching
like
minimums.
Could do that. Now let's get down here to like
Minimums.
100 feet and go around, see what happens. Country 357 go around.
100.
Sun Country 357. Toga. Flaps 15. Positive rate. Gear up. Flaps 5. My aircraft. An overheat. Silence the warning. Flaps 1. Some Country 357 request straight out. Some Country 357 affirmative. Say your attentions. Yeah, Some Country 357 declaring an emergency. We got an engine fire here. We're going to need delay vectors. Some Country 357 roger. Let me know what you need. Alright, Sun Country 357, climb and maintain 4,000 feet. Present heading, 4,000 feet, present heading, Sun Country 357. Flaps up. Let's start following what we got here. We got overheat in engine 1. So now I got to work the problem here, single pilot, which we're going to do. Alright, I'm going to get your level off. Alright, I actually want to read the QRC, so... She's at a trim. Buck 230. Let's burn now. Alright, here we go. Alright. Obviously, 2 people would be a lot smoother. Engine fire. Alright. Auto throttle if engaged, disengaged. It's disengaged. Thrust lever affected, engine confirm. Close. Thrust lever 1, confirm, confirm. Closed. Engine start lever affected, engine confirm, cut off. Engine start lever. Engine 1, confirm, confirm. Cut off. Start my APU, please. I'm going to run number 2 up to about 75%. We lost the autopilot. That's normal. Actually, we can go to Command B on this one. Command B is engaged. Continuing. Engine fire switch affected. Engine confirm. Cool. Engine fire switch number 1. Confirm. Cool. If it's on fire, which it is, turn to the stop. Hold for 1 second. Release it. All right. Sun Country 357. Turn right, heading 110. 110, Sun Country 357. I'm also going to get some rudder trim in here. I'm going to reduce my angle of bank 15 degrees is locked in. Alright. Choose one in flight. If after 30 seconds engine fire switch stays illuminated, rotate to the other end. So, in about 30 seconds, it's still illuminated. Let's rotate it to the left. Okay. We got a discharge light down there. Let's see. Yep, left and right bottle discharge. Alright, choose one. High airframe vibration occurs. I didn't feel any vibration, did you? No, I did not. Alright. Isolation valve switch closed. Isolation valve switch closed. Pack switch affected side off. It's off. APU bleed air switch off. It's off. Alright, choose one. APU is available for start. It is. It's up and running. APU on bus affected side. It's on. Alright, now we got to go tail number searching here, but we're in an NG, so we'll call it. This will bring the power back a little bit. And you should get about 75% N1 is about what you need to stay in the pattern. 220 knots, we're just fine here. PMDG is doing a pretty good job. I do have some rudder trim in there. How many units do I have? About 1. I actually need a little bit more. Oh yeah, I do. Look at my slipscape. Let's get a little more rudder trim in there. Right about 5 units. I like to do just a little bit under 5 so I can use my my rudder as well. Alright. Advise the cabin crew, blah blah blah. Advise, hold on, let's see. APU when running, go to step 17. Balance fuel as needed. So we're 474 and 452. Let's go ahead and get a fuel balance going on. Now this is what's crazy to me, that we actually turn fuel pumps off on an engine that's the only one that's running, but we don't want to get an imbalance going here. So crossfeed's coming open. We're going to get our lines. So we've got something good, something bad. We're going to go Pumps off. My aircraft, fuel that's associated, clear the caution. Sun Country 357, turn right, heading 130. Turn 130, Sun Country 357. At some point through here, the other pilot would have done what's called a task. So we would kind of reset our after takeoff checklist as well. Right, so that would be set to 0, that would be set to 0. I'm doing the roll of 2 people here. Look at that, 230 knots at 76% N1. I mean, that's pretty much bang on what the real airplane, or at least what the sim does. All right. Transponder mode, select TA only. So we don't get an RA. TA only selected. Isolation valve switch auto after the fire has been extinguished. It has been extinguished. Isolation valve auto. Alright, that's if land ice is needed. That does not apply. Land at near a suitable airport. Do not use FMC predictions. Go to the 1 engine inoperative landing checklist. Alright, 1 engine inoperative landing checklist. Plan of flaps 15. So we're going to go flaps 15, 155. Set VREF 15 or VREF ice. Note, for ice, does not apply. We're skipping that. Check the non-normal configuration landing distance in the 737 land app or from the following table. We're 141,000 pounds. We're going to land flaps 15, pressure up to, let's call it 2,000 feet. If I look at my table, estimated landing distance is going to be on condition 6, about 5,000 feet, maybe a little bit less than that because we're actually 140,000 pounds, 141. So we got plenty of landing distance. We're going to plan auto brake 3. All right, so we've done our landing assessment. That is done. Maintain VREF plus 15 plus wind additive or VREF ice plus wind additive on final approach to ensure sufficient margin, speed, and go around. Minimum wind additive is 5 knots. When engine anti-ice is needed, does not apply. Checklist complete except the deferred items. Continue with the deferred items. Sun Country 357, turn right, heading 180. Deferred item, ground prox, flap, inhibit switch. Flap inhibit. That's over here. Flap inhibit is coming on. Do not select above 250 knots. That's why we're selected 230, 220. Perfect. 220 is bugged. Spoiler alert, anytime you have a problem in the airplane, 220 knots is probably going to be, if you go to 220 knots, you're going to be safe for anything. So we actually always bug 220. Look at that, 75% thrust, 220 knots. I mean, we're freaking bang on. All right, continuing on for that ground prox inhibit switch. We don't have that in Sun Country tail number, do we? We don't have the, no, we don't have ROPS, okay. Additional go-around thrust, that does not apply. We're not short field performance aircraft. Additional go-around thrust not needed. Go to procedures review on page 755. All right. Wing anti-ice switch is off. No engine bleed landing. That does not apply. Go-around procedure review. If we have to go around for some reason, use normal go-around procedure except VREF plus 15. Accelerate to flaps 1 maneuvering. Balance fuel as needed. Note. We are actually 447, 450. We're looking good. Let's go pumps on. Crossfeed closed for right now. Sun Country 357, turn right, setting 250. This is, I'm pretty much vectoring us where the single engine mist is. You kind of go around these mountains. And then we're going to go right back into Phoenix. Sun Country 357, if able, climb and maintain 5,000. Alright, 5,000, let me try this. Vertical speed. $5,000 set. Alright, so go around that. Time permitting, go to the non-routine landing checklist. 4,000, 5,000. Go around non-routine landing considerations. ATC advised, we have. Declare plan Panther Mayday, we have. Request aircraft firefighting, we have. Dispatch coordinate, we have. ACAR's code 77. Do not squawk 7,700. We actually do not squawk 7,700 in the real aircraft. The reason being is for air traffic control. They don't, it's obnoxious for air traffic control when you squawk 7,700. So if you squawk 7,700, they don't actually like it. That's from an air traffic controller from Fort Worth Center. Came in and talked to us. They know you're an emergency aircraft, but they're not going to tell you to unsquawk. So essentially, what happens is there's a bunch of red lights and stuff in the center building, and I think there's also an alarm bell. And as soon as you squawk it, all those lights go on and the bells go off, and they can't do anything about it. And I don't think I think he said they can't tell you to not squawk emergency, but they know you're an emergency aircraft, so you don't need a squawk emergency on this particular one. But we actually do an ACAR 7700, which will notify dispatch. All right, dangerous good hazmat does not apply. Choose one. Evacuation is not anticipated, or is it anticipated? Let's do an evac. We'll get ready to do an evac. I need to do that after we land on the ground. So we're pretty much all set up from the book. At the same time that I've been doing this, the other pilot flying would have been setting up the approach. So we need to get the box set up. We're going to go Phoenix, ILS 8, longest runway, execute, legs page. Let's clean it up off of Jamil. Bring it to the top. Final approach course, 078. Execute, execute. Sun Country 357, turn right heading 260. Bring the thrust back, right? 75%. So about 75% should come back down to about 220 knots. All right, so our approach is set up. We're going to be flaps 15, 155. That's set up. 111.75, 078 is set up on both sides. All right. Now we're going to do a single engine landing. Oops, let me do that. No auto throttle on the 737. Sun Country 357, turn right heading 290, vector down, or vector dogleg final for a short approach for a single engine. All right. Come around to 290 on the heading, and basically going to take us right through this gap here. And this is almost exactly what the single engine procedure would be. Now, on the real aircraft, we are able to select engine out procedure, and what it would do is it would populate this in a nav course, and there's actually a hole right about here where you hold until you're ready to come back in. So we're all set up. We're going to be flaps 15, which is going to be 155 on the ref. We'll do an evac on the ground. And then we'll hand fly it inside of JAML for the, actually, what's the final approach fix? Is it JAML? I think it is. For practice, we'll hand fly the approach. Actually, WhatsApp. We'll hand fly inside of WhatsApp. So we got our engine shut down. Is she windmilling out there? She is. So in this is actually an interesting display. So did you guys see how the lower ND populated when we got an engine fire? And we actually have the indications to do an engine relight, but would you ever relight an engine that caught fire? No, but this would be the indications. You actually see the crossbleed start here. It's really cool that that's actually simulated. You would not relight an engine that caught fire, but if you were just flying around and your engine flamed out and you were doing a drift down and all that, and you had these indications, you 100% have proper indications to relight the engine. So pretty neat that little crossbleed start detail is in there as well. But I mean, look at that, 75% thrust approximately should net you around 220 knots. The 7.3, when I first heard that you can't use auto throttle with the single engine, I was like, oh no, what am I going to do? Because, you know, Airbus, you just, man, single engine on an Airbus is such a non-event. You know, it's like, oh man, we have to use the thrust all the time. And it actually flies really well. And we'll test it here. So I'm going to set about 75 once we get a little bit past these mountains here. 75% N1. All I'm going to do is start configuring the flaps, and the airplane will start to slow almost to the bug speed without even moving the thrust lever from 75-ish percent N1, which is pretty neat. So we'll see how PMDG handles it, but we also need to descend real quick. Let's descend to 4,000 now. Terrain is in sight. Let's go vertical speed, 4,000. Nice and easy. Now, where you do get to ride the octopus is if you're hand flying the ILS approach single engine and you're not quite in trim and you're moving that thrust lever. It's like almost flying a helicopter. You add thrust, your pedals got to move the other way. If you bring thrust out, pedals moving the other way. If the pedals moving the other way, the yoke's got to move the other way. Everything is just feels more interconnected. Same on the bus to an extent, but the Airbus has the rudders factored into the autopilot, so you cannot trim the rudder on an Airbus with the autopilot engaged. The 7.3 you can. So right now we're flying perfectly straight and level almost. Just a little bit of the bank into the column. Oh, you can't see the cameras, huh? The cameras froze. All right, I'll just give you full screen. That's a bummer that you can't see the cameras. That must have been when we had the USB disconnect. But then how are you going to be alerted flight aware? That's right, Toothco, I know. So I want to get down to 4, and I want to try my power setting here. Would you even want to relight after the squibs? You wouldn't be able to, Aaron. So in this configuration, well, I don't know if anyone's ever tested it, but in theory and in training, when you discharge a bottle, that engine is not going to relight. That engine is not going to relight. Also, we pull the fire handle, so you'd have to reset the fire handle and all, and it just, yeah. Once you pull that handle, you're not relighting. Especially with the bottle blown. Alright, so I'm gonna pull power back to accelerate the decel to about 220 knots. Then I'm gonna set thrust 75% N1, and then we're gonna throw the flaps out, and we're gonna see what happens. Alright, on downwind. Kind of a dogleg downwind. Let's go ahead and set flaps 1. I'm going to bug just a little bit above flaps 1 speed. Flaps 1's coming out. We're going to just try to maintain at about approximately 75-ish % N1. Look at the speed, nice and slowly bleeding off. I have been practicing and techniquing, has been joining the loc at flaps 5, that roughly 180 knots. That seems to be about spot on. Continue the right turn here just outside of Jamel. I don't want to get too close in because I want to continue this drag performance test here with the PMDG. Turk Herein says the flight model is awful, and he has as much 737 time as I do. And from what I have seen so far, I have been very impressed with the PMDG accuracy. Look at that. Look how our speed is just below the up bug. I haven't touched the thrust. 75, that's actually 76, but I mean, it's right on it. All right, now I'm going to go ahead and set flaps 5. I'm not even going to touch the thrust lever. Flaps 5. We're going to bug Shark's Tooth. Now, I'm a little bit far out, really, for this. We'd probably wait in real life till we were a little bit closer, but I'm doing this to just see the performance here. This is a sim test. Look at it, just slowly coming back. That's exactly how I've been training in the real sim with this airplane. Haven't even touched the thrust lever yet. Still at 75.9. Sun Country 357. You're about 4 from Yaml. Turn right. Heading 040, maintain 4,000 tel established, cleared ILS, runway 8 approach, crash, fire, and rescue will be standing by. Alright. Approach button is selected. We're going to turn it inbound here. We're going into the headwind here, so let's get ready to fly it. Yaml's at or above 4, right? Yes. See how I'm a little bit too far out. If you time that up right, you can join, and you don't even have to I mean, I barely touched the thrust, like 78%. I'm right at flaps 5 speed. Oh, I'm going to go flaps 5 here. There we go. Now we would wait till 1 dot above, and then we would configure. So you're right on speed. You don't want to be joining this fast here. Oh, I was at flaps 5. I just moved to 10. That's all right. Got a little out of sync with my flaps. We're fine. I'm gonna need a little bit more. Oh, look at that imbalance, though. Shoot. Chat. I'm gonna leave that master caution on. We're gonna leave that master caution on. Comes the glide slope. Right at ref speed. Now let her capture. Gears coming down. Flaps 15. Landing shadows. I'm going to leave that master caution fuel light on until we get closer. Alright, 155. 59. That's what we're looking for.
2,500.
Got 1,000 out of bounds here. There's V1s in the house. What's going on? About to head home. We'll double check the roads here in a second. Now this will be interesting. We're gonna have a little bit of an imbalance. I'm gonna have an interesting roll. 1,000 pounds there. All right, here comes Wazat inbound. What's our balance? 600, 700, 800 pounds out. Can't land crossfeeding though. All right, autopilot's coming off. We're gonna hand fly this. There we go. All right, time to ride the octopus. A little bit of thrust equals a little bit of pedal. A little less thrust equals a little opposite pedal. Stable. Grabbing my wind. Just went away. Had her locked in there. Now we're getting a little squirrely. Send my heading bug, please. First Officer Tutko.
Approaching minimums.
3500 stable target, sync 9.
Minimums.
Correcting. Runway, continue. Godspeed.
100. 50. 40. 30. 20. 10.
A little bit of left pedal. Deploy. Single reverse. Fighting that asymmetric thrust. $80. 60. Auto brake off. Set the brake. And then let's run through an evac, should we, real quick? So let's say we're here and we get this. Aircraft, we got to cut the bell. Engine fire, confirm fire switch number 2. We don't even have to confirm it on the ground. It's on fire. Blow the bottle. Flight attendant calls up and say, "Hey, we still got fire fumes back here." Okay, so let's run the evac checklist. Thrust levers are closed. Parking brake is set. Cabin has been advised. Engine start levers cut off on both. Cut off on both. Engine fire switch. Affected engine has been pulled. Let's rotate it to the other stop. Let's see. Evacuation is needed. Moving over. Park brake, speed brake lever. Confirm stowed. Stowed. Flap lever down to 40. It's at 40. Pressurization mode selector manual. Pressurization mode selector manual. Hold outflow switch to full open, which it's almost full open actually right now. You can see the switch all the way open. Time allows. Verify flaps are at 40s before the start levers are moved to cutoff. Does not apply. We're already at 40. Perfect. That's why the flaps can go down. You can slide down the stores. PA8, this is the captain. Evacuate, evacuate, evacuate. Advise ATC. Engine and APU fire switches pull all. That's all pulled. All 1, 2, and 3 are pulled. No more fire indications, and we do our evac indications. So there we go. Evacuating on the runway because we got additional fires. So look at that. Flaps 40, so you can slide down the back of the flaps. All right. Well, what do you think? Let's stop the recording. That took forever. I think we did all right on that one. Oh, you know what? Oh, listen, that's the... You guys know what bell that is? That's the ADIRUs on DC. Look at that. It's on DC. All right, let's reset. And I'm just going to... I don't know. I'm going to throw this one up. Let's reset this. No. Erase that. Oh, no. Active, no. Okay. I'm going to just try to get my engine back. I don't know how this is going to work with replay. All right, let's see how this works. Well, I'm actually a little bit sweaty on that one, chat. I'm a little bit sweaty. That's the crap. Now I've got to walk back down to Jetbridge Mile. Yeah, system on bat. Yep, exactly. Batteries of the ADIRs are on there's our fire bell. Going around. I wonder if it will actually... actually go around. Not yet. I guess in the replay it's showing now. Oh, the replay. Yeah, the replay had the it's gonna have the off failure. So we'll watch this one here for a second. So we got our go around. Positive rate, gear up. Engine caught fire somewhere in here. Yeah, our it looks like it's not quite gonna be in the replay. That's all right. Let's run it forward. We'll do all our stuff, our checks. We come all the way back around. Let's watch our single engine approach. Gears coming down. Flaps 15. Let me throw the generator on. There we go. Generator's on. Flaps 15 will be coming in soon. There it is. And actually, I'm gonna be honest with you, someone asked, how does the yaw feel? It's feel like, as in my legs, it doesn't feel like the sim, because the sim, I mean, you will get tired. I mean, there is so much yaw when you do a single engine go around. There's just so you're mashing that rudder in. I could mash my rudder pedals in, and I just don't have the force on them. So that would be like if you had force feedback rudders, where you probably feel that more. So the force on my actual, feet or leg is not necessarily accurate. But once you get it trimmed out, right? Remember, you trim it out. Now you're just using heels on the floor. I'm just using the balls of my feet. That felt pretty realistic. The aircraft actually handled pretty good. I wish you could have seen the yoke. A good indicator that your slip skid is off is the yoke. If it starts to roll the opposite way, right? Kind of step on the yoke. But it actually flew pretty dang good. I had to use opposite pedal as I retarded the thrust here. See, I could have used a little more left rudder. Opposite rudder. Wasn't a bad touchdown. Got a little squirrely there on the rollout. A little Microsoft ground physics kicking in. But it sounds like the replay sounds are, yeah, it's got the engine failure on both of them. Looks a little wonky. But overall, for a single engine 737, if you would have told me I was doing a single engine stream with a 737 started last year, I would have said you were crazy. But here we are, chat. Welcome to our new home, the 737. And honestly, I am shocked. I never tested this. I didn't test this before stream at all. But I am shocked at the power performance there of the aircraft. When we were 75% thrust, just set it, forget it. Add flaps 1, starts to slow. Flaps 5, starts to slow. I didn't even touch the thrust until we got on final. Now, I dragged it out a little bit too far. We got a little bit behind, but that's just the simism, me just messing around on the sim. But overall, another PMDG test flight done, and I mean, I can say I'm impressed yet again by what it's got going. So pretty dang cool. The replays are going to be a little out of sync here because, again, we don't have power for a replay mode. But I hope you guys enjoyed seeing that. I'm going to sign off with that one. I'm going to go rescue the wife. I'm the only one with four-wheel drive, so I'm going to go pick them up, spend the rest of my day off playing in the snow and ice probably. So I'll be back in the sim tomorrow and for the next week. So I don't know when I'll see you guys. Maybe next week, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, sometime around there. But next time you see me, I will have freshly printed certificate making me the most qualified person to speak about 737s, a freshly new printed type. So I do have my check ride coming up this weekend. So you guys enjoy your weekend. Have a good rest of your week. Thank you all for the support. Sorry about the hiccup there midstream, losing the internet. Hope you enjoyed the rest of the flight all the way in. Stay safe, stay healthy. I'm V1. See ya.